grown on it and was not used much. But now what happens? But when he started traveling on it, he found that travelers have passed through this road just as much as the other. How do we know this? He says in the last two lines, like, though as for that the passing there had warned them really about the same. That means as he starts walking in the second path, he feels or he sees that the path is equally traveled. It was only, huh, to some extent, it was less traveled, but it was not as the poet thought earlier, that it was not at all traveled by or it was very less traveled by. That is not the case. He feels to some extent that the road, just as much the road has been traveled by the travelers just as much as the other. Okay, how can we observe this? We can observe how the poet quickly goes back to his statement. First he says his road that first he says this road is untraveled, then he walks, finds it equally traveled in the last two lines only. Like, again I am repeating it, though as for that the passing there had warned them really about the same. That means after traveling to a certain extent, the poet sees or the poet finds out that the road is equally traveled by the travelers. Now, this was the explanation of the second paragraph. Now, let's see about one more poetic device which has been used in this particular paragraph. Also, the poet says that the path wanted where? A path cannot have a desire or want to wear. Only humans have want. Thus, the poetic device personification is used here. I hope you all know the meaning of the word personification. It goes as personification is a poetic device in which an idea, a thing, or an animal is given human like qualities. And whenever we give any word, anything, any